What is going on, YouTube? PPS back here this morning, 10:30 in my time. Sun is finally out here. Um, Joined as always with my guy Monotone. How you doing, man? How was the weekend? It's that's usually the longest before I see you. It's like 2.5 days. So, how you been?
Yeah, no, the people didn't get to see our faces over the weekend, or I guess they saw yours if they were subscribed to this channel, which I'm sure they already are. But yeah, no, it was a good weekend. A lot of fun stuff going on across multiple sports. Baseball's picking up a little bit more. It's been fun. I'm excited. We got a good week. Basketball's only going to get better and better from here on out, right? These are the real games that matter the most, so should be good.
Yeah, a lot of good games yesterday. Obviously, the Pelicans came through.
Yep.
They look great, man. They're gritty. I mean, just imagine this team with Zion here in a couple. I mean, next year probably. I have no idea if they make it further, if they pass the Suns, if they'll play. But
I
this
hope
team's
so.
tough.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a good young team for sure. I like the Pelicans a lot. I'm rooting for them. I hope they take out the Suns. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, and Chris Paul getting all mad and stuff about getting all that stuff. So or about what was it, being too physical with them. So it'll be
Yeah.
interesting. These guys are going to go at each other, and I'm sure it'll be a good end of the series. Again, guys, if you guys have questions, make sure you pop them into the chat. I'm gonna put that in there, just as we're posting there. Make sure you guys are up there. Jason joining us this morning. How you doing? Hope everything is going well. Going to be dropping one of each. I think both of us are going to be dropping one NBA, one MLB play today, and obviously have our new fade or tail section. Go into the NBA for both of those tonight. So. I think we should just get it rolling. Just go right into it. Like I said, we're trying to keep it in that 25, 30-minute range. Get in and out, get you guys some plays. And I think we're both going to the same game here for our first one, but I'll let you kick us off.
Yeah, it's interesting. This is one that didn't, when we were looking at Pickett, which we'll get to a little bit, this one didn't have as much betting as I thought there would be on here. But yeah, no, this is one of my favorite games to target today. I think it'll probably be one of the best. And I'm going with Donovan Mitchell to have 6 assists, -122 over on FanDuel right now. One of the first things I do in my research process every single day, you can do this completely for free, NBA Stats.com. They have potential assists, right? And you can look through who are the leaders in potential assists the day before. And that's one of the first thing I noticed. In last game, with Luka back, with Powell back as kind of a different defensive scheme, Mitchell had 17 potential assists in that first game. So obviously, that's one of the first things that immediately stuck out to me about this one is that with Luka and Powell back in the lineup, Mitchell's assist production went up. I mean, 17 assists is most of the series so far. But even beyond that, he's 3 for 4 at this number on the series. It's crunch time. It's an important game. We saw what happened when he passed to Rudy Gobert last game. They won. That final assist that he got to Gobert ended up winning that game. Seems like that connection is as strong as it's going to be. So, like I said, with those numbers popping out, and I think with the way Dallas is going to play, the defensive scheme changes, right? When you can't have Kleba out there, when you're going with Powell, he's going to be a little bit more aggressive, right, in the pick and roll. Also, we're seeing Mike Conley. He's barely playing out there, man. It's Jordan Clarkson. And as we know, Jordan Clarkson, on this show, we have a couple different names for him. He's one of those guys, once he gets the ball in his hand, it's going to be really hard to get out of the ball out of his hands. We talk about this with a guy like Bobby Portis all the time. He's a black hole on the court, right? So what that means is less Conley, more Mitchell, more Clarkson. It means more playmaking for Mitchell because we know Clarkson is clearly not that playmaker. He's an isolation scorer at his core. So I think this is a great spot for Mitchell. I think he grabs 6 assists pretty easily in this one.
I love it. Yeah, the Conley is the biggest thing for me. Once you saw those minutes go down, direct correlation to Mitchell. Jordan Clarkson, yes, he is the Bobby Portis of that team. You will not see the ball coming back again. Also, Eric Gordon, absolutely the same guy. Those are always the guys I point to when I talk about black hole players there. I'm going to be saying the same game. I'm going right to Rudy Gobert rebounds. I mean, there's not much more to say about this guy. He's had one game this series where he did not get it. He had 7 rebounds and only 29 minutes. He's getting into early foul trouble. And the exact same thing you talked about going into potential chances, right, of potential assists, potential rebounding chances. Rudy Gobert's number 1 in the entire playoffs at 25.5 rebound chances per game. That is unbelievable. We're looking at this, obviously, his numbers skewed down, so he's averaging, I believe, 14 per game. But it's he's hit this number in 3 of those 4 games. He just had one where he only had 7 because he got in foul trouble. So numbers are going to be there. Going to be a lot of slow possessions here. It means we're going to have the centers fighting in the paint. Honestly, I like this better when what you mentioned with Powell being back in there. I think that helps him a ton. Kleba definitely has the ability to shoot and pull him out of the paint. Got to try to get the shot blocker out of there. And I do expect Gobert to have a better DFS day as well. He has not been getting the stocks like usual, and I'm expecting those blocks to be coming around here shortly. Gobert, I feel like after that game where he actually scored some points, he's at 17 and 15 following 2 single-digit games to start the series. I think we start to see him being a little bit more involved in this offense, and I believe that offensive rebounding ability of him is going to definitely take over this game. He's obviously, I think he's the most important guy in this game. Obviously, everybody's going to be looking at Mitchell and Doncic, but they're going to do their thing, right? It's just going to come down to, can Gobert get those points? And I think on the offensive glass, he's going to 14.5 rebounds. I'm thinking more around that 15.5. I thought this was going to be at this morning at plus money, but I'll take this minus 120. I think this juice is definitely worth it. Do you have any thoughts on Gobert today?
Yeah, I think it's exactly what you said at the end. I'm surprised this number is 14.5, right? It's been 15.5 for most of the series. And Gobert just flat out, I mean, we don't even need to argue about it. He's the best rebounder in the NBA, right? The stats kind of show that. We don't really need to argue about it. Like you said, leads the playoffs in rebound chances. So I think Gobert continues to be involved. He's got to play 40 minutes, right? That's what happens when it's playoff time. Your best players, he might play more than 40 minutes. He could see an insane amount of minutes. And considering the fact that he's a guy that could get 15 for you in like 28 minutes, I think this is a good number. I think you're definitely taking advantage of a number that's just a little bit too low. I don't think people love betting on Rudy Gobert. I honestly do think that plays a part. Like, people genuinely don't like the guy, so I don't think he gets bet on that much. I think that actually plays a part in this.
Yeah, and if you go into those first 2 games of the series where he was pretty much just that defensive stopper, right? He only had 5 and 8 points, but he wasn't getting fouls. He only had 3 fouls in those games. His last 2, he's had 4. Cutting into those minutes to 32 and 29. So those first 2 games, he was 35 and 37. If we see numbers around that, I have no issue thinking that we're going to get to this spot here at 14.5. Got some guys in here. The truth, let's go. Yes, it's going to be a good day. Working already on MLB, working on our NBA. It's going to be fun. We got a bunch of stuff. If you're a DFS guy, this is a heaven day for you. You get to study all day, get ready. Obviously, we'd like to have a little bit afternoon baseball, but you get all day to study. Hopefully, putting in that work to make some money tonight. We are going to go to our new segment, Fade or Tail. These are all off of Pickett, so make sure you guys go check if you want to get in on these public plays. If you want to fade them, tail them, make sure to go check those guys out over on, I believe this is under their Pulse section in the social area to go find these ones. I'm going to be bringing these to you, Monotone, to start us off. A game we have not talked about yet. A guy that's been very popular in the playoffs, I believe, is the number 2 ranked bet guy on the day, and it's going to be Marcus Smart. Plus 120 on the 2.5 threes. Was seeing this laddered up everywhere up to 4.5. Is this a spot you're thinking about? Obviously, it's a closeout game for Boston. They want to take care of them. Obviously, the whole Simmons ordeal, I would just want to get this over with if I'm Boston too. Just don't want to hear about this shit anymore with Ben Simmons. So what is your thought here? Do you have a preference? Are you fading or are you tailing the public play number 2 of the day?
Yeah, this is a good one. This is interesting. Marcus Smart is a guy that I said it last show. A lot of people like to throw out their stats, and they include last playoffs where Jaylen Brown wasn't playing. That's obviously a big deal. And what I've noticed is a lot of people, because of those numbers that they see, whether it's on apps, that exist out there, I see people kind of get biased a little bit by that. So I think Marcus Smart continues to have a good series. He's a great defensive player, very versatile. As for the threes, I don't think, especially I saw this was most common ladder, right? We saw a lot of people up to 4, a lot of people up to 5. I just don't see that kind of usage with Marcus Smart, right? Like you said, this is kind of a game where they want to close it out. We don't want to deal with Brooklyn anymore, right? We know Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving can turn a series around at any point. So I expect the full Boston performance today. I think Marcus Smart has a great day on defense. But when we look to the guys that are going to get the job done on offense, obviously we're seeing both Tatum and Brown kind of serve in a higher usage role right now. I think they'll continue to do that. So I'm personally fading this one. I don't really have any desire to get to Marcus Smart on the offensive side of the ball today.
Yeah, I actually kind of like this spot, honestly. The only reason I say I like it is because this dude is just shooting. He's got 8.3 threes attempted per game. I mean, he's really not shooting in the paint that much. I think he's over half his shots are from the 3-point line. That's really the only reason. We've talked about it. Volume is what is key for us when we're betting on these guys. I obviously don't think he's that great of a player. I don't really like Marcus Smart. I don't like betting Marcus Smart, but he's shooting 28% from three. That's got to get a little bit better. He's usually in the mid-30s career-wise, and all we need is one more to fall. I think he's hit 2 twice in this series. So I would take this plus money, but there is no chance in hell that I am taking this ladder up. I don't trust him to shoot and make 5 of them today. But I definitely think the 2.5 is a good look, especially at plus money. I think this is a DK line that it's set over there. So that will be – I will be on the other side of you today, which we've usually been on the same side.
Yeah.
So this will be interesting. And let's we got some people in here. What's up, Alex? How we doing, man? Turbo popping in here along with Chris. Hope you guys are doing well. Again, guys, if you have any questions for today's slate, pop them in here, and we'll get to every single one of them. But we'll get to the most bet guy of the day. I'm sure every single guy in here knows it. It is public knowledge. About an hour ago, Fred VanVleet was labeled out. So obviously, everybody's going to the main beneficiary, which is going to be Gary Trent. Monotone, talk to me. What are you thinking here? 20 points. Are we thinking this is a spot for Gary Trent? Are we thinking this? I mean, this is a huge game, right? Toronto's got to stave off elimination again. Sucks that probably your best player, maybe him or Siakam, is out here. So are you going with an over and under here? Are you going to tail or are you going to fade?
Yeah, in surprising fashion, I think I will tail this one. I do have to say, this is on my radar. I wish Fred VanVleet were to play. I think I would like it more if Fred VanVleet were to play. I think we'd see the number go down. He wouldn't be as popular, right? But with Fred out, the numbers are just too hard to ignore, right? Gary Trent is one of those guys that we just talked about volume with Marcus Smart. Gary Trent is not a passer, right? We're not going to see this guy put up 4, 5, 6 assists. When he gets the ball, he's going to shoot it. He's one of the best catch and shoot players in the NBA just based on 3-point percentage alone in those situations. So I expect Gary Trent to have a good day. He doesn't have a choice, right? He's stuck in a situation where this team is going to need to rely on guys like Gary Trent and Pascal Siakam to score a lot just to keep them even competitive in this game. I think they probably lose this one. I think they go out, but when you go out, you got to go out trying. You got to go out firing, and I think that's exactly what Gary Trent's going to be. So I might look at the threes a little bit more, but I do think he has a good game. I have to tail this one.
Yeah, tail is on my side too. 5% usage bump without Fred VanVleet, the highest on the team. 21 to jumps to 26% usage rate without Fred on the court. I think the threes is a great spot. I mean, this guy's literally going to be looking for those, right? I mean, obviously, I had CJ McCollum over 2.5 threes yesterday, and he had 2, but he shot 12. So it's like I can't be upset with that. It was just a poor shooting night. I mean, it happens. It's just like when you have a guy that's going to shoot that much and is going to be looking for a shot, it's really tough to fade this, especially when it literally could take a quarter for him to get this with how good of a shooter he is. I'll be tailing that as well. So I am tailing 2 public bets. I don't know how I like that. I'm going to be eating the chalk, I guess, of today, which is unfortunate because I usually do not like to do that. But yeah, let's go 2 questions quick. And then we will get into our last plays for today and then get to the last questions of today as well. Jason S. bringing up Kyle Freeland under 4.5K today. I do really like that spot. The only reason I cannot back that is just because I know how bad the zone was yesterday. Everybody was talking about it. But Eric Lauer from the left side just absolutely diced these dudes. He ended up with 13 strikeouts. Eric Lauer is going to put up 13 strikeouts. I don't like Kyle Freeland, but he does have a pretty decent strikeout rate towards lefties. And there's a lot of lefties a lot of lefty power in these in this lineup. We saw Harper K yesterday to Lauer. We saw Hoskins strike out a ton to Lauer. I know Castellanos had 3 strikeouts yesterday. I think Hoskins had like 2 groundouts, but I would be very skeptical of this line just because I don't want to eat that juice at 145, but that would be my lean. I would probably be just staying away from this one. Phillies have the ability to get you out real quick, but also have the ability to strike out 10 times and still get you out. So it's just a very tough spot. I don't like Kyle Freeland, but yeah, it's going to be an interesting game following yesterday's 1-0 debacle there. Jay's talking about the value for Marcus Smart. Yep. And Joseph bringing up that, I guess, Gary Trent's up to 20.5 for tonight. So I still think that's a decent spot, but I think what Joseph brought up here is the PRA at 23.5. Yeah, definitely has that ability. I think we see the Siakam assist pop up a little bit more than anything if we're going to the assist side. All right, we'll get to the rest of your questions in a bit, guys. Monotone's baseball play of the day is coming up here. Let's get to it.
Yep, and before I jump to that too, I just want to say real quick for the Pickett thing, it's early, right? You guys are here, it's early. The lines are going to change. You want to keep up with that. Sign up for Pickett, code pass the prop, PTP, get in there. Marcus Smart may be like the least popular guy in like 5 hours. 40 guys could put in bets on whoever we're talking about. So you're going to want to keep up to date, right? Pass the prop, code PTP, get in there. As for baseball, we've got a hit parlay. This is something I like doing. I think it's fun, right? You get the total bases normally. And obviously the total bases are misleading. You don't get fucking walks. You don't get hit by pitch. You don't get nothing. You're just betting on hits, essentially. You're just hoping they get a double, triple, whatever. Both of these guys are coming in with great hit rates. I mean, Connor Joe, this is a guy I don't even know who the fuck this was to start the year, but he's got a hit in 13 to 14 games. 10 straight games, got this hit streak going. That's pretty crazy, right? He played Philly twice this year, hits in both of those games. It's not like this guy is like absolutely dominating the league either. It's funny. I tell you guys, a 10-game hit streak, 13 to 14 games is a hit. You'd think he's lighting the world on fire. He's on every billboard in the world. Apparently not. Maybe that's good for this bet though, right? You're getting it at pretty good odds. You throw in the reigning MVP right here. Bryce Harper has a hit in 10 of his last 12 games. Coming in, obviously, been striking out a little bit recently, but he is, like I said, one of the best players in baseball, and we've got a good matchup against it. A guy that we were just talking about a minute, right? Coming in with the 7 ERA. Colorado's pitching, obviously, not known to be super strong. So getting both these two guys together at plus 115 over on DraftKings, I think that's pretty good value. We're just asking him to, nice little base hit, get us on board right here.
Yeah, no, I like Connor Joe. He's been a DFS staple for me. And yeah, honestly, it's kind of funny because obviously they're in the same game. I will be in that exact same game.
Love it.
It's kind of weird. We're both in the same 2 games, the whole thing. We're only talking about the Jazz and we're only talking about the Phillies. But I'm going right to that game, and I'm going Kyle Gibson under 5.5 strikeouts. Yeah, this is plus 104 FanDuel only. I'm seeing minus 120 most books, but FanDuel right now has that plus money. And sign me up, man. He's hit it in he's hit the strikeout number over in 2 of the 3 games. One of them was against Oakland, who obviously are a bunch of bums, and Miami, who strikes out an absolute shit ton. He's faced Colorado already, only had 3 strikeouts, did not last very long. And the Rockies, slowly but surely, continue to be one of the best teams in contact rate in the MLB. They're only averaging 8 strikeouts per game in this type of MLB. That is unbelievable. A lot of those strikeouts are also coming to the pen. 3 of the last 4 games, they've kept the starter underneath this. The only guy who went over was Tarek Skubal, and he absolutely just diced for 6 innings and only 6 Ks, though. Kyle Gibson is not a huge strikeout guy. Looking into his numbers here this year, really, really struggles against the left-hand side. And also only has a 14% K rate to the left side, has a 33% to the right side. But guess what? You're going to play the Oakland A's and Miami Marlins right side batters. No crap, you're going to strike them out. They're striking out at an unbelievably high rate. A lot of swings and misses in that Oakland lineup. A lot of swings and misses in the Miami lineup. There's just not that many guys here who are swing and miss guys. You look at Connor Joe, just like who you talked about, very good at making contact. Chris Bryant is not a high strikeout guy. Really, the best guys to strike out are the power guys, and CJ Cron and Randall Grichuk are hitting the ball extremely hard. Some of the top exit velos in the MLB right now. Grichuk, one of those under the radar signings for the Colorado Rockies. This lineup's just a little bit deeper than it has been in recent years. They're usually very top heavy when they had Arenado and Story, but now you have Blackman, you have all these guys that are still there. Now you add in CJ Cron playing at an unbelievably high level, Connor Joe, like we talked about. Diaz, the catcher's playing extremely well too. So everywhere you look, there's good swings here. Just not as many swings and misses as you need for 5.5 strikeout rate. And like I said, when you go into these and you look at their prior games and you're seeing a 10 and a 6, and then you dive into it a little bit more, seeing Oakland and Miami as those two teams. I mean, if you go back to last year, he hit the over to finish the year 4 straight games, but prior to that, he missed it in 8 straight prior to that game. So he gets on these little runs. Obviously, you've played the Rockies already. They've seen what he's got. Only 3 strikeouts in their last game. I do not see an issue with us keeping it under 5.5. Give me that plus money play here on Kyle Gibson.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I love that we're getting the plus money on. Obviously, like you said, 3 in this last one. It's very important. You kind of got to weigh those matchups, right? Who are they doing well against? What kind of guys aren't they doing well against? Love getting this at plus money. Gibson's a guy like I targeted the Rockies for a K under just a couple days ago, on our last show for the same exact reason. Still leading the league in batting average, I believe. Very strong offensive team, even if it's going under the radar. So completely with you right here.
Yeah, no, the Rockies are very, very tough. 270 batting average, I believe. It's either 1 or 2. I think, surprisingly, I think the Cubs might be 1. I think the Cubs might be 1 even with that offense.
Wow.
Yep, they're number 2 in the MLB in average. And they're just built perfectly. They have a lot of guys who are not going to hit homers, get on base. Then you have Bryant, Grichuk, Cron in the middle. Just a good put together offense, and obviously I wish it was in Coors. But if this was in Coors, I would imagine Gibson's like 4.5 at minus 130 or something like that.
Yep.
All right, let's get to some questions, guys. Thank you for tuning in with us early in the morning. If you could just smash that like button, we really appreciate it. Again, all of our plays here are on the bottom. If you have to look, that's where we're at. That's what we're going with today. Everything should be down there on the ticker there. Yeah, let's get rolling. Super Onion Ring, how we doing, man? I know you won the contest for giving out a play on my YouTube video, so happy to see that you're back here with us today. The Brewers team total under 4.5. Yeah, I really do not like the Brewers offense. The only thing that is going to be scary here is this is a bullpen game. This is a full bullpen game. Obviously, tomorrow they do have my favorite guy in the MLB right now, and Carlos Rodon throwing. So obviously, you think he goes deeper, but he's only a 5 to 6 inning guy tomorrow. I believe Long is starting today. His highest pitch count, I believe, of this season, he hasn't cleared 40 pitches yet. So you're going to need a long relief guy in the middle there. We're playing in Miller Park. It's gonna be tough. I agree. I think that's the side to be on is the under, but I don't know who they're bringing in after. I haven't looked into like their beat writers or anything, but it's a tough one today. I would probably take the first 5 under. They always come out slow, and you got Corbin Burns on the mound. It should be a good one there, but definitely agree. I would probably be on the under anytime it's at 4.5. Tobias Harris over 7.5 rebounds. Mr. Monotone, you want to take this one?
Yeah, this is popular today. Like I said, I don't know if it was a show or an article. I was on to 6 rebounds last game. Obviously, they've adjusted since then. He's just been crushing it with the rebound production. They need Joel Embiid on the court to do so many different things that sometimes rebounding may take a little bit of a back seat. So I have no reason to dislike this. It's going to be another one. I bet if you download Pickett, check it out right now. I bet this is one of the most popular by the end of the day. I already saw it rising up there a little bit, and I know prop bet guys on this one. So that obviously, the community normally loves that. So I think Tobias Harris has another good game. Definitely looking for a way to incorporate him today.
Love it, love it, love it. I know you mentioned possible 3-point guys or 3-point shots instead of points. Are we looking here? Is that too much juice for you, or are you thinking maybe bounce it up to 3.5? What's your thoughts on the over 2.5 here?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of juice. I like it a lot, though. I think he gets 3 threes. So I would just look for something else in that game to pair it with, right? Gary Trent Jr. is a guy that when he plays 36 minutes, he's the guy that averages around 2 steals a game. So maybe I look to pair him up with steals, with another stat, just to bring that juice down, because I don't want to pay minus 155 for really anything right now.
Yeah, especially in the playoffs and these games that have kind of been going under, trending and going under. Joe says he's back on Tobias threes. Can never get you off that. I'm never going to say no to that. Jason bringing up that he needs a home run today from Bryant. Yeah, well, I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it to see Gibson get out of there a little bit earlier. The Truth bringing up that 18.5 over on Bet Rivers. It might be a spot to go. Yeah, that's a little low for me. I would definitely I would get on that.
100%.
Let's pop into one more MLB or NBA one here before we get to MLB. Boyan Bogdanovic. We thinking he's going to have a bounce back day today. Obviously, it's going to be a little tougher with Clarkson getting the minutes he is and the amount of shots that he usually takes. But do you have any thought here on this one?
Yeah, no, you're completely right. Clarkson is kind of a big thorn he has. I think probably has a good game though. Yeah, I would say 20 points is pretty fair. Maybe you go down maybe 15, something, pair it with something else. I think he's consistent enough, right? He's the kind of guy, he's going to keep getting shots. So I don't mind the over, but it's also not something I'm like in love with or anything. You know what I mean?
Awesome. Who's your thoughts on this one? Who's winning the finals, Monotone? Who's your choice?
It kind of feels like the Celtics are right now. I mean, I always kind of thought it was going to be the winner of Celtics-Bucks. It looks like we're still getting Celtics-Bucks. And without Devin Booker, that changes everything, right? So I think winner of Celtics-Bucks. I'll take the Celtics for right now.
Yeah, no, I think those games would be fun. Honestly, I mean, until someone can show me that they can actually guard Giannis, I'm gonna continue to just ride with the Bucks because we've just seen it. We've seen it every single time. He's just a matchup nightmare for everybody. There's no one. There's absolutely no one. And if you're gonna tell me Al Horford's gonna guard his ass, I'll take Giannis on a 47-year-old Al Horford all day, every day. Super Onion, we're talking about Jacob Junis is probably gonna be the starter or the middle relief guy. Yeah, he's been good this year. I think he's another guy who starts out hot on these batters who are kind of a little bit behind. I'm not a huge Junis fan. Even when he was with the Royals, he wasn't really anything too special for me. But obviously, he hasn't given up a run yet, 5 innings. It's just Miller Park is very, very hitter friendly during the day. I just feel like during day games, there's a lot more homers out there. So definitely could see a little bit more action on the bases today. Yeah, I think that the Warriors definitely getting all the hype. I think they're only plus 250 to win the whole thing now. So
yeah.
And Jay bringing up the 3 or 4 threes for Trent is plus 145. So definitely think that I would take that over the minus 155 just on pure juice there for sure. Let's see if we have any other questions. I do not think we do. Okay, let's go through a quick recap. Obviously, they're all on the bottom. If you guys have questions, get them in quick because we are about to head on off, closing in on that 30-minute mark. Let's go into our plays for today. I'll start with you, Monotone, with your 2 today.
Yep, we started out in NBA with Donovan Mitchell over 5.5 assists at minus 122 on FanDuel. Next up, we got Bryce Harper and Connor Joe to both record a hit. That's plus 115 over on DraftKings. Oh, yeah.
Let's give your Taylor fade here.
Yeah, Taylor fade. We started out with Marcus Smart. I went under, you went over for this one. And then we were both in agreement on the Gary Trent over. It's a Gary Trent day without Fred VanVleet.
Love it. I'm going back to the Utah game with Rudy Gobert over 14.5 rebounds. And then I'm going to an under in that Philly Rockies game, under 5.5. This is a FanDuel line only. I'm seeing minus 120 in most other places. So go grab it on FanDuel. Move that line to a minus monies now that I already have it already bet. So now you can move it. It's all right. But do you have anything else, Monotone? Doesn't look like we have any other questions in here. We're right on that 30-minute mark, just where we'd like to be. You got anything for the people here for this Monday?
Yeah, nothing much else. Busy day. I already have an article out today, plus these 2 new picks. So if you're enjoying the content, leave a like right here, obviously, and sign up for Pickett. It's completely free. Code Pass the Prop PTP. It'll give you free money. We all like free money. You guys should go sign up.
Yep. It's been a nice, really easy thing just to pop on and see what everybody else is on there. Yeah, should be good here. Should have another video coming out in a little bit. Getting everything going. I'm kind of excited for today's slate. Another one of these that feel pretty good. I know we've had a couple of them where we're feeling pretty good, and then all of a sudden we just get hooked or stuff like that. But this one, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling good. We're going to have DFS rolling today, all day to work, all day to get after it, and I'm excited. Going to be a fun one. 3 NBA games, 7-game main slate for DFS and MLB. So should be fun. I think we're both going to be watching the exact same games, it looks like. So hopefully you guys throw those into some same game parlays and make a little bit of money if we sweep this one up. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys are the best. We'll see you on Wednesday. I believe Wednesday is going to be the same time, 10:30. Make sure you guys are popping in here to make some money with us. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day. Cash some tickets. Peace.